Hello guys, this is Amol from Amol SAP World, and right now I'm planning to make a series of video of SAP MM module from basic to advanced. But before that, I thought I should share some information about SAP. I mean the overview of SAP. So for that purpose only, I have created this first video. So let's start. The first question which will come into our mind is, what is SAP actually? So the SAP stands for Systems, Applications and Products in Data Processing. Basically, it is an ERP software. Now, if you are from engineering background, you will know about ERP. If you are not, don't worry, I will explain that one. ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. Enterprise means company. Resources means, suppose if you have one company that is producing laptops. For producing those laptops, we need some resources like man, machine, material, money. So those are the resources. And the last initially is P, which is planning. So planning these all resources so that every operation will run smoothly and we can dispatch a product at given time, we can produce a product at given time. So that is known as a ERP. So for this smooth operation, we use ERP softwares in the industry, and SAP is one of them. But why SAP is famous? Because it is integrated with all the departments of industry. We will discuss this in detail in further slides. Let's move on to the next slide. What are the ERP softwares available into the market? Along with SAP, we have BAN, we have Ramco, we have Oracle, we have Tally, we have Microsoft Dynamics, Microsoft Navision, PeopleSoft, JD Edward, and Siebel. Now, one question that will come into our mind is, what is the difference between the SAP and all other softwares? Why SAP is so famous and everyone is using it? Now, if we take one example of Tally software, Tally is mostly used in accounting data, like finance department mostly use that one. So it is related with finance department. Like that, Oracle, Ramco, BAN, and other softwares, they are related with their relative departments. But SAP is integrated with every department of the industry. That means, suppose if we do some transaction from purchase side, so those transaction will impact on finance department also. If we do something from sales side, that sales transaction will also, what we can say, impact on finance department. So sales, purchase, production, all these modules, all these departments are integrated and dependent on each other into the SAP. So that is the reason the SAP is so famous, and it will give a surety of a very smooth operation of industry. Some other reasons are there that we will discuss further. Let's move on to the next slide. Now we are going to talk about history of SAP. In 1968, there was one company, IBM. I hope you have heard about it. IBM company was giving support to the Xerox Limited. Okay, Xerox Limited comes up with a new requirement. Okay, they need one new software which is integrated with all the departments, as I have explained earlier. That was the requirement. So IBM sent some person from their company to the Xerox Limited, and those persons gathered the requirement from Xerox Limited, and they started their work to produce a new software. After some years, that Xerox Limited said to IBM that, okay, now we got another solution for this issue, and we don't need your product now. Same thing IBM said to their persons who were working there, that now you have to end this project, as Xerox Limited is not interested now. But those persons were too much interested in the product that they have created, which means SAP software. So what they did, they left the IBM and they started to work on that project independently. After completing that project, they launched their first SAP software in 1970, but officially they released their first SAP software, which is R1, in 1972. After that, the R2 they have launched in 1980, and the third version R3 they have launched in 1990. But there is one new version, ECC, Enterprise ERP Central Component. They have introduced in 2005, which was very famous at that time. From 2005 till the date, many companies are using that one. After that, after so many years, in 2015, they have deployed one new product of SAP, which is SAP S4 HANA, which is too much good, too much fast as compared to other ERP softwares or SAP versions. It is too fast. In the upcoming videos, we will discuss that one also. But for your overview, this is enough. Now, what is the R3 architecture? As in the previous slide, we have seen in 1990 they have created the R3 version. In ECC also there is R3 architecture is there. In SAP S4 HANA also we have a R3 architecture. So we should know about what is this R3. R3 means 3 tier. So 3 tiers. Which are the 3 tiers? Presentation layer is there, application layer is there, and database layer is there. I will explain this one with one example. Okay, suppose if we are using a Facebook software from our mobile. Okay, we are seeing some post, we are seeing some images. Okay, in our mobile, okay, screen. So that is the presentation layer of that application, now of that software. Okay, then once we upload some photo, or we click on message, we click on inbox, or any other field, we click on that one, then in the background some programming is there, right? So that programs execute our specific function and it gives output. Like if we click on inbox, it will show the messages. So that is the application layer. Means we have created some programs in the background. That is the application layer. And now the third one is database layer. Database layer means what? You have uploaded photos on Facebook. That is not in your mobile memory, right? Once you log out that one and again log in, the photos are there. That means somewhere it is getting stored. So that is the database, Facebook's own database where it is getting stored. Same thing happens with SAP. SAP have a presentation layer. That means whenever we open SAP software, we can see the screen there. That is the presentation layer. Then we have a application layer. Means in the background, suppose if we click on any field there, background programs are getting executed. That means it is an application layer. Then when we save any transaction like purchase order, sales order, or anything, we create material, we create vendor, that is getting saved somewhere. So SAP also having its database layer. That is about R3 architecture. Now what are the roles we have in SAP? First is SAP consultant. SAP consultant are those who implement the SAP. Suppose if in any company they want SAP software, then consultant will gather the requirement and they will work on that. They will create every field, everything as per the business into the SAP, and they will provide the software to them for the use, right? So in SAP consultant there are two types of consultant is there. First one is functional consultant and the second one is technical consultant. Functional consultant are those who know the processes, how industry works. So they gather the requirement from business persons and they will create some things in SAP software. Okay, that is known as a configuration. Later we can see that one in software. If anything is new there, if anything new requirement is there, then that will go to the technical consultant. Technical, with the programming help, technical consultant will create that thing. So that is the difference between functional consultant and technical consultant. Functional consultant will do the configuration. Okay, we can create the material type, we can create the purchase order type, vendor type, like that we can create all this configuration, and technical consultant will create the new reports and all those things. Now the second thing is SAP end user. What is mean by SAP end user? Once we have implemented the SAP, all the implementation is done. Now the company peoples will use that software. So those are the end user. Purchaser will do the purchasing activity, salesperson will do the sales activity, warehouse person will do the warehouse activity. The next slide is about SAP modules. We have multiple modules in SAP. First one is SAP SAP FICO, SAP PP, SAP WM, SAP QM, SAP SD, SAP ABAP, SAP Basis. Like there's lots of modules are there. In this, from SAP to SAP SD, those are the functional modules, and SAP ABAP and SAP Basis are the technical modules. Okay, which is related with programming. I think this is enough, as we have new to SAP. So I have introduced some new things to you. I hope you all are getting that thing. Thanks.